industry by storm as a leading advocate for contemporary African design and a champion for global interior design standards. Her titles are numerous, but to just name a few, she is the CEO of Essential Media Group, the creative director of Essential Interiors Consultancy, the founder of Design Week Lagos, and the 21st president of the International Federation of Interior Architects and Designers, IFI. She is both the youngest and the first person of African descent to ever hold this position. Now, with no further ado, I would like to present Ms. Titi Ogufere as the first speaker in FLN's Leading Women series, as she shares her life experiences with us and what leadership means to her. So thank you again, Ms. Titi, for joining us. I'll let you take the floor.
Thank you so much for having and yeah. Now this, I believe, is a chilled group. So I'm just going to gist with you guys, but also share some of my experiences. When I started, I knew I wanted to study interior architecture. I had finished with mathematics, but it was a mistake, I would say. But one of my first lessons, I'm very quick to correct things. So if I just look at, there's some people that will stay in a situation for years and they'll still be thinking about it. I don't do that. It's not working, I move. So the first thing I just thought, this is really what I want to do. And I went back to school to study interior architecture. And I've always, now I didn't set out to do anything. I just don't like seeing things that are wrong. And I always want to fix things. And as you're an interior architect, you understand what I mean. The whole, what interiors stand for, because what we do has to do with humanity. It, for me, is more like, okay, so we don't have an association for interior design, let's do it. We don't have a magazine, let's do it. We don't have a design week, why don't we have a design week? Let's do it. So it's just been a journey of discovering my purpose, and I push myself. I'm a risk taker. So a lot of the things I have done not just the way normal people would do it. I've done out of the box because, as you know, I'm a creative. So let me use, let me give an example. In 2016, we had an IFI summit. I think it was in Switzerland or somewhere. And they said, oh, who would be the next, which country wants to host the next General Assembly? And I put my hands up, we will do it. I didn't even know what I was saying. And when I came back to Nigeria, I remember, I'm a founder of the Interior Designers Association of Nigeria. I remember them saying to me, why did you discuss it with us? We're a whole group, why would you do that? Why would you get us into, that is your life, that's not our life. But it was a risk, but it really transformed the industry because we brought 110 nations to Nigeria in 2017. And it was a huge fit for the industry, but I'm a risk taker. So let me go back before yeah? So go back to my journey. I started with interior design. And when I started, I was enjoying it, but I knew that I didn't really like residential design. I specialized in hospitality, but when I moved back to Nigeria, there were no hotels. So I thought to myself, okay, you know what, let me do residential projects. But I hated it because I'm a storyteller designer. I love stories. And when you're working with, like, especially in Nigeria, and you're doing a space, first of all, people don't even understand what your role is as an interior designer. So the first thing is you're trying to explain, oh no, actually, you don't have a showroom. No, I don't have a show. So I don't understand. So explain. So I looked at that and I thought, these people don't even understand. What do I do next? Then I set up a magazine. It was Essential Interiors magazine. So it was really because I was having a problem. It was like more like, these people don't even understand what we do. How do I educate people on what the role of an interior designer is? And then I moved to the magazine. We started the magazine. I'd like to just go back to say one thing that is really important. Always get education. So the two keys that has helped me in my life is one, I have to know about what I'm doing. Two, I just need to know enough, but I have to hire the best. So I hire an expert. So those two things have guided me through my journey. Um, so I went back to school again. I went to London College of Arts and I did editorial design. And I remember when I did editorial design, I had published my first book. The first book I published was Celebrating Fashion Today, was in 2010. And Celebrating Fashion Today was IWS were trying to raise funds for abandoned children in Ijebu-Ode. And I was doing the magazine. I'd done 3 years and I was like, let's do a book, coffee table book. And then I said, look, I thought to myself, I'm an ideas person. So I was like, coffee table book, who has money now? And I said, let's get the fashion designers, all the big names, Diola Sego, Chriser, let's just get everyone that is in the fashion industry, Nigeria and abroad, Duro Lowo, we got different people and we got them. So I said, okay, would you guys pay to be in this book, Abandoned Children in Ijebu-Ode? And they were all happy to pay. So I got everyone to pay. And then we published the book. I was so excited. When I went to London College of Art, I took that book and I was saying, I am already a publisher. I'm just here so that, people will know I went to school. And then they took the book on how not to design. I mean, they showed me like a million flaws. And I was just thinking, this book that people are praising me for in Nigeria, these people are just, but that was a good lesson for me because from that point, I just thought, okay, you know what? Let me not disgrace my nation, disgrace my race. I have to get some kind before I come out again. And so what I started doing at that point was, like I said, I started making sure that I have like the best hands doing anything that I'm doing. So we did the book, and today I've done 27 different books. We've done like books on, I've done Celebrating Fashion Today. We did In Conversation with Dimaswoko. Any excuse I have, I will publish a book, because books, and I'm not just publishing books because I want to, I'm publishing books because I can't find information. And once I've done that research, I want to share it with people. So that's how the whole publishing thing came about. It was more like, okay, so I sit down with Dimaswoko and this guy is just saying amazing things. And I'm like, what? In Conversation with Dimaswoko, that's how that book was born. Then we're talking, we organized an event, and the event in 2017, at that point, because we were paying so many big names like David Ajay, I was thinking, we're just paying these people, they have to do some work. So we got all those people to contribute in the book, and we had 3 different curators. We had Mrs. Silva at that time. We had Ronke Shaye and the third curator. And what we did was we got them to write different essays. And, just doing that whole thing, I've gone through the journey of discovering more about Africa. As you know, Africa, there's really no data. Africans are so suspicious. If you say, even just do a survey, they'll think, maybe they want to report me to EFCC or something, and they lie. Africans lie. Just ask for just simple information. Please, can you tell me XYZ? They'll just change the whole story. How much do you earn? It depends on who's asking the question. If you're related to finance people, I'll make it really low. That's government. But if I want to feel big, I'll make it really high. So it really depends. But I wanted to share good information about the experiences that I had. And then I started writing. Like I said, I'm a storyteller. I love content. Everything I do is the same. It's all related to content creation and promotion. I love to promote people. Until 2017, no one knew who the founder of the Interior Designers Association of Nigeria. In fact, there was an event we had with the vice president. A guy said, "You, this small woman, you're the founder and you're carrying all this." But at that point, I mean, because I don't need to be seen, but you can see my work, and that is so important in the things that you do, because that's what will outlive you. So let me continue my story. From publishing, I now, I always wanted to do an event. I always wanted to do a design event because I saw the work that people were doing and there was no platform to promote them. There was none at that time. And so I started talking to people. What if we do like an exhibition? Would you exhibit? Because you always need to check your market. In Nigeria, people don't check the market. People just wake up and just do it. Then after 5 years, it did not work. Then they change the whole scope of their destiny. Check your market. Be very, very clear. And so I always make calls. I always send out, because that's why I know that people don't tell the truth with surveys, because we used to do the surveys where you just make people feel. And when I read, I'm like, I know this person, this is not true. So what we started doing was you make cold calls where you're saying, can you tell me this? Give me information about that. Why do you do what you do? Why haven't you succeeded in doing it? Why do you think you're struggling? And because I work with a lot of international colleagues of mine, I check what they're doing and I check what we have. And in my mind, they're just colleagues. They're not Nigerian or African, or they're just colleagues. And so what I tend to do with most of them is I tend to try connect. That's another gift that I have. I'm a connector. So you're a product designer, you're designing. If you come to me, the first thing I'm thinking, okay, so what's your concept? That's another thing that people don't think deep. So most people don't really have a concept. Most people just copy and paste because it's easier. But even having a concept is such a nice release, because you're just playing with your mind, because my mind is my greatest weapon. And so what I do is I just use my mind to start thinking, okay, what do these people need and how do I'm sorry, I'm just distracted. Nigerians, I'm sorry that I have to say this. If someone calls you and you don't pick up, you don't have to call 21 times. Like they're maybe in a meeting or having like a Zoom meeting. But in Nigeria, they keep calling. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So for us, our gift is our minds. It's really, really important how you protect your mind. For me, I watch the kind of energy around me. I don't have, and I'm not doing this, doesn't have anything to do with spirituality. It's just life. I don't have people around me that can say something is impossible. Because for me, nothing is impossible. Are they not two heads? Do they have two heads? So the Oyinbo man that did it, how did he do it? Emma, or don't tell me you can't reach someone. Keep trying. Have you texted them? So you always have to have that. You always need to know that, look, for you to survive in this, our world, because we live in a totally different world. We live in an exciting world because our world is not really yet defined. That's what I love about Africa. Africa is not yet defined. We're just coming to our own. So you can be whoever you want to be. You can be. I know I'm saying a lot of things, but you guys just follow me because I had notes, but I just thought to myself, no, no need for notes. Let me just try and speak from my heart. The reason I'm saying this, because these are the things that have helped me. When I come to you and I say, I want to bring this number of people, don't tell me, oh, but how are you going to do it? They're not going to get visas. They're not, I don't even know. I can't think about the details are a bit too much for my mind. My mind just wants to say, these are the things I need to do. I always, always, always write everything I do. I always write them down. Anything you see that I've done, I've written down. Maybe it will not end the way I wrote it down because the way my mind works is it morphs with time. I always see the end before the beginning. So I always see, let's do a festival of design, then is more like, wow, so how are we going to do it? Then I start thinking, who do I need for what I need to achieve? Then I start thinking, who is the best curator of art? BC Silva. Okay, let me look for BC Silva. Let me get her. And so these are the life's lessons that I've learned that has guided me, helped me through my journey. Um, also, also, I want to say something about my journey. My journey, so this world is such a spiritual world, but I'm not a regular I'm like Christian, like because I'm a creative. So as a creative, anyone that understands creativity understands that creativity comes from the spirit world. We just bring what we see in the spirit and we bring it to the physical. So when we start talking like this, some people say, yeah, they've come. But if I was Steve Jobs and I came to you guys and I said, listen, I went to the Buddhist camp and there I got the light bulb to come out with the Apple vision, you guys would think, wow, she's so cool. That's exactly how most of the things I do have worked for me. They've worked because I connected to something. I have a source. So let me give you an example. Like I said, I started my career with interiors. And then they started, I mean, my career has morphed because I started working for government first. Then later I started working for high-end residential. Then hotels started springing up. And then I was just saying, why are these Oyimbos coming to do work here? Why can't they say, you need to show your portfolio. Sorry, we cannot give you. And I'm like, yeah, but I had portfolio from my work experience or where I worked in the UK. They're like, no, that doesn't count. In Nigeria, what have you done? Because most of the operators come with their Oyinbo designers. So they really don't want any Nigerian designer. So in my mind, you can't come to my territory and come and now be bringing your Oyinbo designers. So I now decided, you know what? The best thing to do is I need to have a conversation with my source. I really want this job. And I don't want it because I just feel like it would be a shame that all these hotels that we see, we have all the Oyimbos doing it and we don't have Africans. And so how I got the first two major like branded hotels that I worked on was I had a conversation with God and I was like, I want to do this and how do I get this? And so I don't do prayers the way people, oh, Father Lord, I don't. I speak to God clearly because, I mean, he said to me once, ask clearly, so when I do it, you know. So I'm like, and I meditate a lot. So I was like, how do I get this? And one day I just heard Africa, use your superpower. And my superpower that the Igbos don't have is I'm African. This is our land. You can't come and design what doesn't really show. And anyway, we did the RFP and I did the whole thing and we said African design. And then we got two big hotel projects, 5-star and a 4-star. I was really excited. Then I went back to God to say, yay, we've gotten it. So what is African design? And God said to me, whatever you say it is, that's what it is. So basically, you create your world with your mind. So from that point, I started just drawing from what I saw. I mean, I designed a chair during that process called the Ilanru chair, the comb chair. And it was just because I was just thinking, comb. And there was another chair that was at the Goon from the jollof rice. I mean, it's just different ideas that were just coming. And these ones, I wasn't even thinking deep. Because if you understand the process of creating, there are different levels. So there are people that would copy and change. There's some people that are they would have to draw from the source. So those are the people like Steve Jobs that will bring to life what doesn't exist, and they change the world with their creativity. Now, why any African that is not succeeding in our world today will be a disgrace to their forefathers, because when we came into this world, we came with creativity. The Black man, we don't have anything else. Our true superpower is our creativity. So you can use your creativity in any form, whether in medicine, because think about the Ife head, for example, the 13th century, the technology at that time, these were unschooled men. They didn't go to school. The reason they have that in the British Museum today is because they're like, what did they even use to make this thing? And the precision, the lines. And you look at these unschooled people. So please do not be a shame and disgrace to your forefathers. Everyone in this room has a superpower. The only way you can succeed is you need to use your superpower. I know my superpower. I don't even do, people have, I went to try and fundraise, and someone said to me, if you can only set up a showroom, I will fund this your project. And I was like, I don't want to have a showroom. I can't even sell. I tried to sell bandanas when I was much younger, and I couldn't sell one. So how much more? I want to sell furniture. I can't. I sell ideas. I'm a visionary. I can sell you an idea. I can sell you an idea now. I can only sell you things I sell you stories.
Yeah, I guess.
And so everything that I've done, from the documentary on Netflix to the books I've published, that you can see that they're all the same. You have to have a story and you have to have advocacy. Advocacy is the fact that I learned how to fight when I was much younger. So my pastor taught me how to fight. So you can't tell me that I cannot so I'm going to fight you. I will go through legislation. Like I sue big companies because I'm a fighter. I mean, I don't know if that one is Christian, but I sue Sha. Alone, I don't need anyone to help me. You know that saying, what we got is what, honestly, I don't need anyone. If I have my books correct, especially if I know that I haven't done anything wrong, if I know that, look, these people, I would check every single detail. I document every single thing. I document my ideas. I document the ideas I share with you. I document everything. And that has helped me. And so I would say to you all, right? One, no matter what you're doing in life, the things that would work for you is, one, understanding who you are. Two, at every stage of your walk, documenting that down. Do you know that I have, so every year I have a vision board. I've been doing that for like 12 years now. I plan my year. I put like every single thing I need to do for the year. I mean, things can be modified, but I plan everything that I need to do in my year. Last year, because I joined a prayer group and they were all praying, and I just felt like I was missing out, and I was like literally saying, "Oh God, please," because you know how Nigerian prayers, last minute breakthrough or something. And I literally, I mean, I didn't hear God say, but I felt like God was saying, please, you move from the rest of the people, because everything you put on your list, you accomplished. So last year, what were the things I put on my list? One, I wanted to do an interior design guide for Africa and the Middle East. I had 26 different contributors from around the world, from the guy that designed Dubai Mall to like, I got like Technion. I just got like top high level people, because I cannot be friends with you and then you're not going to come and help my country or my region. So please write. So I got them to contribute. I wrote like 70% of the book, and then I got the contributors. Two, we wanted to launch an app. Right now, it was not a, you don't launch an MVP, but in Nigeria, you have to launch an MVP so people know what you're doing. In 2015, we had a directory that was a listing of the entire industry. It was a 5,000 listing of architects, interior designers, suppliers of everything. And we had that. By 2019, before COVID, we checked it out and we found out that more than half of those companies had just gone out. Some people will say, oh, sorry, I'm selling clothes now. Or some people say, that company, I'm not working there again. Oh, do you have a company? Or some companies actually just died off. And the reason why that would happen is because most people don't actually start with the first thing I said, understanding who you are, your vision. That's why you just get to how many years and your whole business is dead. And then we had to update the data, knew the world had changed. So you need to be quick with the world. The world changes, change with the world. So we needed to go into developing an app, and the whole process of doing it, we did an MVP, we're trying to raise funds for it. That was the second thing that we did last year. The third thing that we did, Africa has been kind of in different things. Africa has been really scattered, and we needed to bring the design community together. We knew that we had language barrier because people speak French, Portuguese, and we said, how can we bring everyone together? We're united in design. So we got presidents of all the different associations, from the South African Association, the one in Egypt. We just got people. So in Nigeria, we had 27 different countries come for the event last year. I mean, so the list goes on and on. And all these, I'm not trying to say, oh, these are the things that I've accomplished. I don't even think that I've done anything. I would say when I became president of IFI, I didn't even know, that was when I knew I had done 27 books. I wasn't even keeping count. I didn't even know. I was just doing things. I only did because they were doing a Wikipedia page for me. And it was in the process that they stressed me, just trying to see, okay, can you show us the cover? Can you do, and the whole process was so stressful, but it was educative for me. It made me actually see the things that I had done, that I wasn't even keeping count, just saying, okay, I've done this, I've done that, because I'm also very quick. Anyone that knows I'm very, very quick. So if God is giving different people vision and it falls on my lap, while you're still thinking about it, it will happen. So you need to move with the vision. Just listen. There's so much to do in this world that you can't start thinking about, okay, how do I do it? Or should I do it? Just do it. Don't think, just do it. And I know that we all talk about funding. Everyone talks about funding. There are things you don't need money to do. There are many things I've done that I didn't need money. Just do it. So we will, and especially because I talk even my daughter, I talk to my niece, everyone has like big ideas. Some people will tell me, okay, I'm trying to do this movie, and they've been trying for 20 years. And the movie, I'm trying to raise $5 million. I'm like, okay, can you start your movie with even $10,000? Yeah, I mean, just start. Netflix, that film, it was during COVID. People were at home. I was bored. I was like, I'm dying. Like, Lord, we're stuck. What do I do next? And then they did the first, okay, we'll release you people, but curfew. I was like, yay, let's do film. And I told my industry people, I'm going to make all of you great. Let's go on Netflix. I hadn't even spoken to Netflix. So see your vision and be clear in your vision, and never think, never, because as you think in your mind, so you are. And this is not cliche. This is not the word of, this is just life. I mean, I don't know if you guys have heard the story of this Japanese guy that had like the two plants, the one he spoke good things to and the one he speak. Yeah, that is the way life is. Life will treat you the way you see yourself. So if you think, okay, I can't do it, or I'm still thinking, or life is so tough, or things are hard, you're just going to waste 20 years, and you wake up one day and just think, wow, I've wasted my time. I mean, I'm going to be 50 soon, but I just feel like, I mean, because I have 50 years to live, but I'm thinking this next 50 years, I have to make it count. I have to do more things. I have to take over the world. So just have at the back of your mind, I want to change things. I want to take over the world. Nothing is difficult. I need to get experts in things I do not know how to do. While some people are trying, you're struggling learning how to do graphics, please give someone to do it or get Canva. No waste time. Because some of those things are just a waste of beautiful time. So I would like to say one thing. I sleep. So anyone that knows me, once is like 10. I'm sleeping. I'm up at 4. I love to sleep. Like I have to sleep at night. In fact, I always say night is for sleeping. So I close at certain times. Sometimes don't you need your other life. The other life is hanging out with your friends, what you love to do. I love to eat. I like to go out. I love to eat. I love food. So, that's then I love art. That's it. Okay, I love design. Maybe I love some other things, but that's it. But enjoy your life. And so this is the number one secret of my, would I call it success, but my help. And the reason I've been able to do all the things I've done is because I have help. I literally have help. I every step of everything I've ever done in my life. This is Africa. I don't know if any of you have seen This is Africa book. This is Africa is almost maybe 400 pages. That book was done start to finish in 1 month. Start to finish. I got David Ajayi to write, Dimas Woko to write. We got the governor at that time, minister. We got different people start to finish because it was like navigating something. But what happens most times is when you know how to wield a weapon, after a while, it's easy for you to do. So some other people, you just develop one thing. So if you're doing one thing and you've done it over and over and over and over again, you know how everything needs to work. It's almost like, you know what, I'm just going to plug it in and I'm done. So make sure that you understand your craft. I know my craft in certain things. And the ones that I don't know, I always look for experts. I don't waste time. Don't waste time. Don't waste your life. We have so much to do and we can take over the world together. All right, guys. I hope this was what you guys were expecting, but I was just having a good time.
Thank you so much, Tio, for that. The gems were endless. I was ferociously writing as you were speaking, trying to keep track of everything you were saying because it was just amazing. And I feel like we were all really, really greatly blessed by the things that you said and you spoke about. So thank you so much. And I know people are probably burning with questions. So I will open up the floor to any questions that anyone has. Feel free to kind of unmute your mic and share with Ms. Titi and ask her any questions you want to ask her. So I'll open up the floor.
Thank you so much for your time, Ms. Titi. And my question would be, if you had to go back in time to your younger self, what advice would you give?
What advice will I give my younger self? Um, Wow. So that it's a tricky question because the way I see my life, I actually don't. So whether I've made a mistake or an error, or I embrace them, and I think I needed that for my next level because I look at life like an exam. So I had an experience that happened to me, and I got separated. And when I got separated, I know I have friends that, got separated and they just stopped. Like, you know how you stop your life and then we're praying for the husband. No, I can't do that because I'm praying, but I have to continue living. In fact, I had a very interesting dream. The dream, I was in a house, and the house, they had like sheets like covering like the furniture, and I was just taking out the sheets, and I was saying, I want to live, I want to live. That's how I live my life. Like, what next? Do you see what I mean? So I wouldn't say like, okay, my regrets. I have no regrets. Everything that I've ever done, good or bad, has made me and formed me to who I am today. Yeah.
That's lovely. Honestly, I feel like that's so inspiring. And I think I'll just shoot a question before, everyone floods in. I think my question is, how are you able to juggle being a CEO, creative director, president, all the titles you hold of these established organizations, and how do you not get overwhelmed by it all, having to juggle everything that you do?
Okay, so honestly, I think, like I said, I have help. And I'm not just talking about with people, I'm saying I have help. But I put things in compartments, right? I check every email that I have. I check every text. And if you're disturbing me in work or my life, I put you in archive because my brain has to be free at all times. Because my brain is like my computer. And so my computer needs not to have like a virus. I don't have bad energy. I can't watch anything that will trouble me. So I can't watch like horror movies. Like, I mean, there are one or two things I want to say now, but I think it's being recorded, so I can't say it. But my brain has to be free at all times. I can't quarrel with anyone. I mean, anyone that knows me, even if I'm quarreling with you and I can't remember, it's because you're an archive and I don't have any dealing with you and I don't know that I've forgotten that you're there. But I try as much as possible to live my life really free because it's really helped me with my journey. There's a lot that I have to deal with, and so I can't feel anything else in my mind. I don't have space to feel anything, even family, time with friends, so it's all like in different groups. My daughter, like today, I've had a meeting with my daughter's school, and my daughter was really embarrassed. She said, I'm doing foundation, nobody else is doing meeting. You're disgracing me. That's what she said. But I'm like, hello, we have to make sure that your UCAS, we do it well. So I actually have timings that I do like everything. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I'm going to let other people speak now. So feel free, guys, unmute yourselves, ask questions. Feel free.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, with your career and all the titles you hold, I'm not sure about the architecture field, but working in Africa, firstly, I know Africans don't like working with each other. How do you manage to do that work with them? And also being a woman of your stature in that position in Africa? How do you manage to beat the odds?
So one of the things that that has helped me in life is because the way I am, even the way I talk, I'm complicated. So no one can be like me. So you can't be my competition in any way. And then everything I do things to promote the industry. So that's why I'm everyone's friend. In fact, I went to a showroom and the guy was saying to me, I wonder, because I was saying, oh, this is how this showroom is. And he said, I can't even go to people's showrooms because they'll think I'm coming to spy. And I'm like, really? I can go anywhere because everyone knows that if I'm coming to you, it's because I'm thinking of how best can we promote? And I have a gift. So that's another thing. I have a gift of seeing people's businesses and seeing what the problems are. During COVID, we did that research. And when we did the research, people were upset with me, but I mean, the ones that are my aunties, I had to beg them because I was saying showrooms are dead. Like people don't visit showrooms. And we did the data. I explained why, because one, your showrooms are hot, your prices are expensive, your taste is different from what your consumers are looking for. You're doing gold, shiny things. How many people really like that? So, I mean, I gave them like a list. You don't have light in you're saying 2 million naira and I'm hot. So the whole showroom experience is like hell. And so it's easy for me to be needed. So always make yourself like useful to people. Then you're not competition, you are supporting. So that's one of the things that I've done that has really helped people not think I'm competing with them. I don't even know who thinks I'm competing. No, I don't know, because I'm actually not competing. Not everything I'm doing, no one else is doing, because God gives me new ideas all the time. Yeah. Okay.
Do you have any other questions? Please feel free. Any of the attendees? Future leaders?
Hi. Yeah, I have a question. Thank you so much again for all you shared. So one of the points you made, I found them quite interesting about how you're able to create things that don't exist. So my question is, how are you able to then know that what you're creating is actually going to have an impact, you know, especially because it doesn't exist already? Like, what are the steps that you take towards knowing that you're actually going to provide a valuable solution?
I actually don't know. So for example, with the Netflix, I'm using that as an example because the Netflix I was praying one day, frustrated, saying, God, you know, I like doing many things. And now we're stuck, we're at home. I've written book, I've done this. I even wrote 2 books. I wrote Christian book, finished that, did another. I was just doing things and I was stuck at home. And I was always doing meetings. And one day I said, Made by Design is actually an exhibition. There's a Made by Design show. So I just said, I need to do something. And that day I heard documentary and I thought, I've done a documentary on Dimasmoko, I've done one on this, but I was just doing it for Design Week Lagos, okay. And then the idea now came. But most times I don't know the outcome. I always say, because most of my ideas come, I'm not just saying because it comes from God, but ideas are, and the reason I use Steve Jobs is because I'm really inspired by him. And I understand how he got the idea for Apple. He was getting like the block, like he tried, he didn't, and he just knew that it had to be a spiritual experience and he went away. And so sometimes with a lot of ideas that you have, your ideas need to be, you may not have the full picture. Most times we don't have the full picture. Like I said, I didn't know what would be the outcome of the book, for example. It was just because I saw that there was a need and people were asking me, how do you do this? How was the fee structure? What's that? I'm like, okay, all of you here, So I'm not answering, I'm solving a problem. So it reduces the number of those questions, right? And like I said, there's so much to do in this world, so much that they're like literally a billion ideas every second. So take the risk. If it doesn't work, move to the next thing. Don't ever think, okay, and because that's what happens. That's like your number one problem for ideas. When you start analyzing the ideas and you start thinking, and when you start talking to too many people, that will confuse you because your ideas came from a source. So when it comes from a source, the people didn't get that experience that you had. So they can tell you, in this economy, it's not going to work. That's what people, you know what someone said to me? Oh, Netflix, they don't take documentaries. I'm like, that person, I blocked the person throughout my process. This person is a dangerous person to my vision. Guess what? Netflix, they're expecting 6 documentaries from me this year. They want 6 documentaries. Meanwhile, Netflix, they don't take documentaries. So it really depends. Like I said, it's all in your mind, and just do it. Just do it. There are plenty of ideas. Do it, move to the next one. Just make sure that you keep it going. Okay. Yeah.
If I could ask a question as well. At the moment, locally inspired products are becoming very, very popular these days, and people in the West are replicating these designs and selling them at exorbitant prices. How can we encourage these customers, Western customers, even ourselves, to buy directly from the source? So how can we then take that domestic made product and sell it abroad and bring the sales and revenues back to Nigeria or into the pockets of those people who created them, who made these designs?
So one of the major challenges we have in Nigeria, so even though I'm saying all the sweet things, is the value chain. So there's a value chain when it comes to products. And the reason why Africa has not had an industrial revolution is because you need, in most countries, the way they do, you need the designer, you need manufacturers, you need a number of people to work together to be able to come up with this. Now, this is a good time now because Africa is raining. So because Africa is raining, you can almost do anything. So anything African, as long as it's good quality, people will buy at this time. So one of the things that I would say is it depends on, because our value chain still has issues, depends, where do you want to sell? You want to sell abroad or you want to sell in Africa? Tobe?
I mean, it's just depending, because you have people replicating your idea and selling it at a higher cost than the original production price. So it's then discouraging for young creatives or artisans to then go and start creating something when they know it's not going to reach the value of their European counterparts. And even when Nigerians themselves even prefer to go abroad and buy something of similar quality that is just a brand rather than buying the African product.
Yeah, okay. So let me use product design as an example. Let me use furniture design as an example. In 2020, there's a guy called Jumo Tariku. He did a research. The research showed that out of over 4,000 branded collection, they only had 14 Blacks. And I'm not talking about 14 Africans I'm saying in the world. That's Black Americans, Blacks, in general, 14. And so there was, everyone was criticizing a lot of these big brands that we all buy. And the next thing they're like, okay, take the platform. But most times, and I'm going to be really truthful, most times, because I know as well, so product design is relatively new, the way interior design is new. We have a lot of product designers getting their hands into product design, but most of them are not properly mentored. So I would use my industry as an example. There are many people that come up with products that don't work. So you've done an object, you've done a nice chair. I look at the ergonomics is wrong. I'm looking at your materials, the materiality is wrong. So I'm looking at different things. So there are many things that I would look at. Meanwhile, the Oyibo man, he has finance. He will take your ideas, then he will use a better material, and he has the value chain and he brings it out. So one of the things, one of the first steps that we thought to do in June, that's next month, we're taking designers to Milan. We're taking some designers for the Salone, that's Design Week Lagos. And this is our own part. Everyone has a part to play. And the reason we said, let's take them, because I tried to get the manufacturers in Nigeria to say, hey, these designers, would you pay them royalties? They don't even understand what royalties mean. They would they even take like fashion, some top fashion designers that have come up with designs. You still see a tailor who just make the design once it's in the public domain. So right now, Africa, we're still struggling with understanding copyrights and all that. And then we don't have the right kind of materials. Our value chain still has problems. But the good news is that if you can tick those boxes, you can start exporting. So what I mean by that, not even your ideas. So export your ideas to where they have the good machines, like what we're doing. We're taking these designers to manufacturers that are able to pay them, that understand royalties, but they're African inspired pieces. And then that is one way of getting more of these things, because the demand is actually, I mean, people are asking for African design, but we don't have the designers there. One of the other things we're doing is we're pairing these designers. For the designers we're taking to Milan, one of them we paired with a renowned product designer in Switzerland called Charles Ojo. The other guy, we gave him to Iniachi Bong. These are like top guys in the game. And we're like, okay, and we're like, you people are black, so come and help we need you now. Help your brothers, and they're willing. Everyone is willing to because it's the right time. So I think it's a journey. I think we need to take the steps. And like what we're doing in Design Week, everyone needs to be in this discussion. But for the value chain, there's still some things that are still slow here, but we can get it. You can still get your products out there. Make sure it's copyrighted. Nigerians don't understand copyright. So when you talk to a lot of designers, it's my idea, but what's your copyright? Before I post anything, I've done I've done it. But some people just think, but who says it's your idea? Can be anybody's idea. So make sure you do your homework. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ms. Titi. I will take, I think, maybe 2 more questions, guys. So yeah, feel free. Unmute.
Hi. I have a question. Yeah, actually, I think 2 questions, but the first one is so I know that you said you have like a board thing where you like put ideas for the year. So I just want to know, because I know that in life sometimes things might not really go the way you initially plan, right? So I just want to know, how do you pivot sometimes? How do you deal with a situation where things aren't really going the way you initially planned? How do you bounce back, without feeling discouraged? And I also want to ask how you like manage your relationships with people. How do you balance your relationships with people? Because I know that sometimes you might have relationships that are purely professional, then you also have relationships, because you were talking about your other life, right, that are not necessarily professional, but that you get a lot of value from, that might even help many of the ideas that you have. So how do you balance that and make sure that you keep them healthy? So I think those are my 2 questions. Thank you.
Okay, so the first question, you're asking about my ideas. So what I do with my ideas is I I put them down most times. So when I wake up early, most times I I listen to music, I listen to worship. Um, but when I'm in that zone, I need to be quiet because when my ideas are coming, I need to be quiet. And what happens is I just write them down. I write them down. Now, writing is your first step because you need to write the vision, make it plain for whoever, and whoever might not be a team, whoever maybe like you're dealing with people on Fiverr or wherever. So whoever you're sharing with will be able to understand what you're saying. So I make sure that is very, very clear. Now, like I said, a lot of things I've done, I start with it and I don't. The story of Netflix didn't start, it was DSTV. So when my mind thought documentary, because I've not watched TV in a while, I thought about DSTV. And I did proposals and I put DSTV on it. One day my daughter was watching and I came and I was like, I like this logo, it's red. And I just changed it to the logo. And that was it. So most times, I mean, I can say this and we can laugh about it, but most times that's how a lot of things have happened where my mind wasn't really thinking about that direction, but it eventually worked out in the end. And that has worked for me. I would say for each person, you need to find out what works best for you. What is your superpower? My superpower is my ability to bring things from the spirit to physical. So most things I see, I see like a finished product. When I saw that book, I saw a finished product. And then I go back to say, what do I need to accomplish this finished products? I need someone to talk about hospitality. I need someone. So I'm saying, talking to a steel case. So I'm now looking for everyone that fills that box. Then I think, if I have to coordinate with all these people to waste my time, okay, so I'm going to work with Polola. Polola, I'm going to introduce you to all these big people all over the world. And then, yeah, it will help you. What are you trying to do? And I'm going to pair you with a mentor. And then we started the journey, right? Now, after that, when I now began to say, okay, I need to, so I had like two different editors. After I had finished doing my own bit of writing and their writing, we had different professors, and anyone that knows professors, they know, academics, though you can't be editing their work. So I had to get one academic to edit because the first guy was a Cambridge professor. The guy had 2 degrees. They abused him. Some of the professors were like, what does he know about interiors? Please tell him to face this. But I now got someone else that is an editor of interior design books. So make sure that you tick all your boxes when you have your idea. It's a process. It will not, and how I started was not how it ended, but it looked like the picture in the end because I saw a vision that I followed through. Now, the second thing is balancing your relationships. Now, because of the kind of thing I do, I'm actually introverted, right? Most people think I'm not, but I'm introverted. I love my space. I have 2 rooms that my office is also here, is on the middle floor, but I have a room that is like okay, you can call it prayer room, but it's more of my inspiration room. So it's my shrine. In my room, I have like all the different things that have helped me. But anyone that can enter this room is close to me. So the people that are close to my life, one, my daughter, Osaru. I have like some people that are like my family. And what I do with those people is no matter what work, they come first, especially my daughter. So I have a meeting and I have to take a call. no matter the meeting, no matter the board meeting in whatever country. And my daughter is calling me. My daughter, and sometimes I've gotten upset with her because she called me, Mommy, I just look at my eye. I'm like, call me back later. But there's sometimes it's actually important. So you never know. You need to make sure you prioritize with these people and your safe space, the way my safe space is this space I'm sitting in is the way it is in my heart for them. I love other people too, but these people, their number, but they're about 5. And then my family that are 14, 20, sorry. So I hope I answered that question.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, that was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh,
you
I
so
see
much.
a hand up. Oh, great.
Yes,
Great.
hi. Thank you for everything you said so far. I just wanted to ask about the concept of time. You referenced like valuing time and not necessarily wasting time on things you think haven't or might not work out. But my question is, how exactly do you discern between projects to carry on with and projects to stop? Because some people might say like, if you're just patient and keep pushing, it will come through. While some people will say it's time to move on to the next thing. So my question simply is how do you discern what to carry on with and what to stop?
Like I said to you, so a lot of things I do, I am inspired, and I don't want to start sounding, so I have paracletus, yeah, and what that does is sometimes I check it, and I sometimes I look and I'm like, this thing. Now the idea of the festival didn't come in 2017, it came in 2000. That idea took 17 years. Most of my ideas are like short, like 1 year, 2 years, but that idea took a longer time. Now you need to be able to check things out as a spirit that we all are. That's why I said you need to train yourself. No one operates in success in this world without understanding how to navigate the spirit world. Nobody. I'll give you a clear example. As one of the biggest designers in the world, one of the projects that we had, it was a 4 seasons. And I called her and I said, I need you to work on this project, but they want someone that has worked on the 4 seasons. And she's American, not Christian. And she said to me, okay, I'll get back to you. She came back to me 2 weeks later and told me her palm reader told her that she shouldn't waste her time with that job. She's not going to get it. Her palm reader. But guess what? I mean, I was telling her, I said, these people said, I'm honestly, you're good. Guess what? The architect called me later to say, why are we calling Oyibo? Let's do it. You're the one that said we should do. And that was it. They removed her from the project. So no one that is successful, nobody, and I'm saying it, that's to a particular height. So it depends. So there are people that are content, let's just follow. But if you want to operate in certain levels, you need to know how to navigate through the spirit, because that has been one of the things that has helped me. So sometimes I just look at something and I'm like, it's not time. There's sometimes I look at it and I'm like, you know what? So it's your personal journey, because it's your life. And so it's very important. That's one of the reasons why I don't know, there are people that would wait for maybe a pastor or someone to guide them. I can't trust a pastor with who I marry, the choice of my daughter's school. There are choices that I can never trust anybody but myself. So when it's wrong, I can hit my chest to say, okay, I made a mistake, but I'll continue the journey. Because you don't want to waste your life just saying, okay, I'm trying to do something. Like I said, it took me 17 years, but I wasn't working on that project. I wasn't even thinking about it. It wasn't even in my mind. But when the time came, the opportunity came, we had nations coming to Nigeria. And hey, I always had an idea to do a design festival. Let's do it. So that's what I mean by don't waste your time, because you find some people, the same proposal, they're taking it every year, 1 year, 2 years, 3. God is not like that now. The same proposal. Why? This is tough. Anyway, that's my experience. I don't know. It's your personal journey. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tio, for that. And I feel like we'll just wrap up the session now. I know if you have any more questions, like you can reach out to Ms. Titi if you want. But I just want to thank you profusely for this amazing session. I think for me, I was just greatly inspired by everything you said and how easily it flowed. And I'm so happy that it came from the heart. I know you mentioned before, you had your notes and everything, but you just said, let me speak from the heart. And I think everyone on here can appreciate how connected they felt to your story and everything that you went through and the advice that you gave everyone. So I'll just kind of close by saying we have several more sessions coming up. So do make sure you're following our Instagram at Future Leaders Network so you don't miss any of the other sessions we have coming up. But I don't want to speak for everyone, but I feel like I was super inspired. Somto, do you have any closing words you want to say?
No, just a big thank you to you, Ms. Titi, and just some things that stood out for me was what you said about, working as a team, as a community, and that's very timely because I think as people, we should collaborate more and highlight our skills and work together. So I'm really inspired, and also to just do it, not to hesitate, not to overthink, not to talk too much about it, but to keep learning and to just do. So thank you. All right, Demi, back over to you.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're on mute. I think you wanted to say something.
Sorry. Thanks. Thank you for having me. I had a good time.
Thank you so much for joining us. So we will let you go because I know we've taken up so much of your time, but thank you so much. Okay. All right, guys, see you at our next session. Bye. Bye, guys.